Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Investing Explained. Here's today's question. So let's talk about the money portion of it. How can somebody get started with having no cash of their own?
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of a limiting belief that I had as well, as I always thought that I need to rely on myself to do certain things, for anything really. And then when I had to raise money for these house flips and two people agreed to lend me money, this light bulb went off. I'm like, wait a minute, let me make it straight. I can buy houses without having any of my own money, and I make money in the process. Like that was crazy for me. And so really a lot of it is limiting belief. And with that become other limiting beliefs such as, well, first of all, I don't know anyone with money. Well, okay, that may be true right now, but there are people who know people, and you don't know everybody in the world right now. For the example I always get is you go to a meetup or real estate association meeting, and you look at the people in the room. And if you were to do a poll, and I've done this before actually, and you say, hey, raise your hand if you've got at least $25,000 to invest in some kind of liquid asset or IRA, right? And a whole bunch of hands go up. You add that money. Okay, keep your hand up if you have $50,000 or more. You know, some hands go down, some stay up. $100,000 or more, some hands go down. If you add up all the money in the room, there are millions of dollars of money in the room for people who are already thinking real estate in some way. Okay, so you either have passive investors in the room or you have joint venture partners in the room, right? So all of a sudden now you know you've met all these people who have money and have real estate on the brain. It's a matter of getting yourself out there. And basically what you're doing is you're not so much raising money, you're actually just sharing your enthusiasm with people. So you're talking, hey, I'm so excited. I'm getting this apartment building thing, and my investors, they're getting a 10 to 15% return and $50,000 minimum. And I'm just really excited about it. Do you know anyone who might be interested in a quick phone call? And they're like, I might be interested. Or, oh, my brother is interested. He's got a rental house. And so you just kind of get a series of referrals to people. You share your enthusiasm. And instead of talking about the weather and the politics and the sports, you're a little bit more intentional in your conversations. You say, hey, this is what's new with me. I'm getting into real estate apartments. Really cool. Let me tell you about it. And you just kind of take the conversation where it goes. That's really the art of raising money and getting people to believe in you.
And you also just never know who actually has money. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned. I actually worked at a local bank here for 3 years when I was in college. And then also now that I'm in real estate, I'd see people come into the bank. You think they have all the money in the world. They're dressed very nice. They drive a nice car, have all the nice watches and phones and things like that. But then they actually didn't. And vice versa. People that didn't look like they had money would actually have a lot of money. And the same goes for real estate. As soon as I started putting myself out there as a real estate investor, all of these friends and family members started reaching out to me. Oh, I'm interested in real estate. I'm interested in this or that. How can we work together? And I had no idea. These are people that I've never talked to about money in my life. And I never had any clue that they were interested in these types of things. So you just never know really where those people could come from.
But you never really know. And a lot of people also say, oh, I don't want to take money from friends and family. I'm like, why? I don't want to lose their money. Well, okay, you shouldn't lose anyone's money. Well, I don't know what difference it makes whether you use someone you met at a meetup or your friends and family, right? You shouldn't lose any money at all, ever, right? And the other way to look at it is you're really actually serving people. People with money have problems. Maybe not the same as you and I, but they have certain problems. For example, they can't get a reliable, consistent return on their money in the stock market. This really irritates people because a lot of people barely remember the last recession, and they've certainly been through this particular one. They're like, I can't do any financial planning. I'm socking away my hard-earned money so I can retire when I'm 65 or 60 or whatever the case may be. And now I can't. Like, I'm screwed. I don't know what to do. And so they have this problem because of the uncertainty of the stock market that they can't predict their financial future. And that irritates them. Also, there's no way to get cash flow from that. And they pay taxes on top of that. And so these people have problems. You can help them with their problems. Hey, how's the stock market treating you? Oh, not so good. Well, yeah, not so good. Well, I got an alternative to the stock market that you might like. You do? Is it legal? Does it involve drugs or something else? And so now you have an in where you can share with them about this alternative to the stock market, and this educates them. And like, I didn't know that, right? And so now you're actually helping them. And so you withholding this thing from your friends and family is actually doing them a disservice. You're actually being selfish.
You also mentioned when you were doing that poll at the REIA meeting, the REIA meeting, that you could get funds from an IRA. Talk to us a little bit about how people can raise money from people through their retirement accounts.
This recalls a story with Greg, one of my neighbors. I know him from the Boy Scouts. And, I warm chatter with people about what I do. And he goes, I'd like to maybe learn more about those through lunch. I said, that's great. So I described him the whole thing, and 40-minute mark. I said, yeah, and the minimum investment is $50,000 and la, la, la. And he goes, I don't have that much to invest. I got like 5. I'm like, oh, really, Greg? Crap, maybe I should have mentioned that before we, whatever. I said, okay, well, do you have an IRA? Yeah, I got like $500,000 in the IRA. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And he's not the only one. A lot of people through their employer have been socking away money in their IRA for years. The problem is they don't know they can use it for investing in anything about the stock market. So their first reaction is, yeah, but I got to pay penalties and early withdrawal fees. No, you actually don't. And so when you educate them about the idea of investing with IRAs, the first one is surprise because their CPA, financial advisor, will tell them, no, they can't. It's illegal. It's not. And so you need to educate them around that, maybe show them some news articles or something like that where they can invest with the IRA in that. There's a lot of capital in there. And some syndicators focus on the IRA investors. These are not as sophisticated. They don't expect a high rate of return, and they're getting really, really low returns in a high volatility environment. So IRA money, there's trillions of it. I don't know what the number is, but there's a lot of it. And it's all invested in stocks and mutual funds that people don't even know where they are. So IRA is a massive source of capital.
That's all for this episode of Real Estate Investing Explained. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or subscribe to our YouTube channel to get even more free content.